Camille Vasquez rested Depp's case by raising issues about Heard's character in her counter-closing arguments, which she gave after lunch. Other than Ms. Heard's sister, no one turned up for Ms. Heard in this courtroom. Every other witness who came to Virginia for her was a paid expert, according to Vasquez. This is a woman who destroys relationships. Her closest pals aren't there to support her. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. In this video, we will be talking about everything you need to know about the Johnny Depp's defamation trial. And before we start, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Done? Let's get started. In a Virginia courtroom, Johnny Depp's lawyer, Camille Vasquez, begged the jury to give him his life back by finding his ex-wife, Amber Heard, guilty of libel. Following 6 weeks of detailed testimony and photographic evidence that showed the unsavory aspects of the one-time couple's troubled relationship, jurors began deliberations on the former spouse's defamation claims. In closing arguments, Vasquez told the jury that the trial will end exactly 6 years to the day after Heard tipped off TMZ, secured a restraining order, and ruined his life. Depp filed a $50 million lawsuit against Heard in Virginia's Fairfax County after she wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post in December 2018 in which she defined herself as a public figure representing domestic abuse. Despite the fact that Depp's name was not mentioned in the piece, he said that it was implied that he was the abuser and that the allegation cost him acting jobs, including a planned 6th Pirates of the Caribbean film. After Depp's lawyer, Adam Waldman, labeled her allegations a abuse fabrication, Heard launched a $100 million complaint against him. Depp was compelled to disclose his prior drug misuse when he took the stand last month, but he also claimed that Heard assaulted him throughout their 5-year relationship and amputated the tip of his finger during a fight in Australia in 2015. She has a compulsion for violence. It just appears out of nowhere, Depp explained. Jurors heard recordings of the former couple's harsh arguments over the course of 6 weeks, as well as how their relationship ended after poop was discovered in the couple's marital bed. The feces was left by Heard, or one of her pals, according to Depp, although it originated from one of their dogs after they consumed his marijuana. Depp's security officer, Starling Jenkins, claims Heard revealed to him that it was a horrific practical joke, which she denies. There is an abuser in this courtroom, but it's not Mr. Depp, Vasquez said, stressing that Heard's behavior was violent, abusive, and vicious during their relationship. Vasquez painstakingly dissected Heard's evidence and played recordings from some of their disagreements as she addressed the jury. "I'm sorry I didn't give you a proper slap across the face," the Aquaman star was overheard saying. "I wasn't punching you, but I was hitting you. You haven't been punched, babe?" Can you imagine Mr. Depp saying that to Ms. Heard on that tape? Vasquez was perplexed. Security guards had spotted him with a swollen eyelid and several bruises and scrapes. Jurors were warned. Vasquez read in another place that Heard had called her then partner a washed up, a fucking cunt, and a deadbeat dad. Vasquez explained she absorbed the low blows and hit him where it hurt. Ms. Heard spat at him and gave him a shiner, says the narrator. Vasquez meticulously detailed how Heard was photographed at various public events, including an appearance on James Corden's late night show, with no visible signs of injury and no medical report that documented bodily trauma of any kind, while recounting Heard's violent allegations, including one in which she claimed Depp assaulted her with a bottle that left her bleeding. Photos purporting to depict bruises that were brought into evidence by Heard's legal team appeared to have been distorted, she said. "You either believe she was assaulted with a bottle, or you believe she was a lady who would say anything," Vasquez added. She also reminded the court that when LAPD officers visited the couple's condo following a fight in 2016, they did not detect any obvious injuries on Heard and did not identify her as a victim of domestic abuse, according to testimony given in April. Other members of Depp's legal team came out as well, with his attorney Benjamin Chu referring to Heard's allegations as #MeToo without any #MeToo. Chu told the court that while Depp may have had personal issues with drugs and alcohol, no lady ever said he raised a hand to them, and that the lies have developed. "These bogus charges will eternally damage Mr. Depp's name," he stated. "We beg you to return his name and reputation to him." Depp lost a libel action against the Sun in the United Kingdom less than 2 years ago after the tabloid called him a wife-beater. Heard was frequently abused, according to a London High Court judge. Depp's violent text messages, in which he spoke about wanting to fuck her burning corpse and hoping she was decomposing in the fucking trunk of a Honda Civic, opened a window into the heart and soul of America's favorite pirate, said Heard's lawyer, Ben Rottenborn, as he fought back tears. If Amber was abused by Mr. Depp even once, she wins, Rottenborn told jurors on Friday. He also made it plain that the abuse did not have to be physical, and that it might encompass emotional abuse, psychological abuse, financial abuse, and sexual abuse. In the 7-week trial between her and Depp, Heard made an emotional return to the witness stand as the final witness. She told jurors that she was still traumatized by a campaign of online vilification that began with Depp and his then lawyer, Adam Waldman, dubbing her assault charges a hoax, and continues today with her voice quivering. I have to relive the experience every single day, Heard added. My hands tremble, and I scream when I wake up. Camille Vasquez, a Depp lawyer who is well liked by his admirers, quickly confronted Heard in a rerun of the dramatic cross-examination she did after Heard's original testimony. Have your lies been exposed to the world on several occasions? Vasquez explained. Heard responded, I haven't lied about anything. This week, Vasquez presented Heard with witnesses who were summoned to refute the actress's claims. Morgan Knight, the former owner-manager of a luxury desert trailer park, where Heard claimed a weekend getaway became violent, and Morgan Tremaine, a former employee of the gossip website TMZ, who coordinated coverage of Heard's court hearing for a temporary restraining order against Depp. Knight claimed the only anger he saw that day in 2013 was from Heard, and Tremaine said he worked with Depp. Most debunked a rumor that Depp had shoved her downstairs on a trip to Jamaica, while Knight said the only anger he saw that day in 2013 was from Heard, and Tremaine said he worked with Depp. Did you expect such a large number of people to show up and testify on his behalf? Vasquez inquired. Heard responded, incorrect. You didn't expect Miss Moss to consent to testify that Mr. Depp never pushed Kate Moss down the stairs after you told this jury under oath that you attacked Mr. Depp because you thought Mr. Depp was forcing Kate Moss down the stairs, did you? Vasquez inquired. Heard stated, incorrect. I have a feeling a lot of folks will come out of the woodwork to support John. Depp was suing Heard for $50 million, alleging that she defamed him in a 2018 Washington Post op-ed in which she identified herself as a victim of domestic violence without naming him. According to Heard's $100 million countersuit, Depp defamed her in part as a result of Waldman's attacks. Heard's lawyers also took a day off on Thursday, leaving the trial, now in its 7th week, to be handed over to jurors for deliberate following Friday's final arguments. Last week's triumph over Amber Heard in Johnny Depp's multi-million-dollar trial was a win for more than just the former Pirates of the Caribbean star. Attorney Camille Vasquez, who made headlines for her savage cross-examinations and closing arguments during the 6-week trial in Virginia, has been promoted. Vasquez, who has been a co-led lawyer for Depp alongside Ben Chew for less than 4 years, has been promoted to partner at Brown Rudnick. We are thrilled to welcome Camille to the partnership, Brown Rudnick Chair and CEO William Baldiga stated today, praising the national firm as well as the Orange County-based litigator Vasquez. Traditionally, we've held off on making this news until the conclusion of our fiscal year. Camille's performance during the Johnny Depp trial, on the other hand, demonstrated to the rest of the world that she was ready to take this next step. We're tremendously proud of her and excited to see what she can do as our newest partner. There was joy to be shared, as is typical at such gatherings. I am ecstatic that Brown Rudnick has given me its entire support by inviting me to join the firm, Vasquez, who is in high demand, said. I'm pleased of the exceptional team I've had the honor of leading, which exhibited cooperation and collaboration, and I look forward to continuing to reflect Brown Rudnick's culture of excellence. The 37-year-old 2010 Southwestern Law School alumnus noted. Vasquez's promotion at Brown Rudnick comes as a number of high-profile law firms and agencies have expressed interest in poaching or representing the made-for-TV lawyer. Vasquez, who was seen smiling with and hugging Depp throughout the trial, which began on April 11, proved to be a formidable opponent for Heard and her defense team. Vasquez's later poise and accuracy proved strong in and beyond the courtroom, despite starting out weak in opening remarks and at moments throughout the trial seeming to cross the line in terms of criticizing or even mocking the Aquaman actress allegation of domestic and sexual abuse at Depp's hands. On June 1, Vasquez addressed the assembled loyalists and journalists that today's verdict supports what we have said from the outset, that the charges against Johnny Depp are libelous and unsupported by any proof. Vasquez is a major success with a self-described Depp-forward wives audience. We are grateful, extremely grateful, to the jury for their thorough deliberation, to the judge and the court staff who have committed an incredible amount of time and resources to this case. She continued outside the Fairfax County Courthouse. It's been overwhelming and bizarre, she said Wednesday on the Today Show, echoing her attorney Elaine Bredhoff's statement, but to the degree that I pushed young women to stay in school and maybe inspire them to seek a legal career. It's all worth it. Last week, a Virginia jury decided in Depp's favor on all counts in his defamation case against Heard, while finding in Heard's favor on only one count in her countersuit against him. Depp received $10.3 million in compensation, while Heard received $2 million. A number of law firms apparently engaged in a bidding war for Vasquez, according to the New York Post this week. She is the unicorn, a clever, intelligent, poised attorney whose effective performance during the trial elevated her to a rare level of notoriety, one anonymous source said, adding that town agents were circling as well, and the fact that she is a woman of color adds to the appeal. Aside from Vasquez's sudden celebrity, the two lawyers were grilled on Wednesday on allegations that the Depp camp planned an anti-Heard social media campaign and that the jury was swayed by it. Chu called the theory totally ludicrous and unjustified, while she labeled it categorically false. On Today, Chu stated, "I don't think there's any basis to suspect the jurors broke their oath. He was quite open about his drug and alcohol problems. He was open about certain regrettable texts he had written." He continued, "It was a stark contrast to Miss Heard, who didn't appear, or at least the jury may have perceived that she didn't take responsibility for anything." Depp was able to connect with the jurors, according to Vasquez. She said she focused on turning her word against hers. Throughout her cross-examination of Heard, "It was critical for us that every inquiry was related to something she had previously mentioned," she explained. "And I believe that the jury saw and heard from Miss Heard in that relationship on every single topic, as did the rest of the world. It is as unseemly as it is unprofessional that Johnny Depp's legal team has chosen to do a victory lap for setting back decades of how women can be treated in this courtroom." A spokesman for Heard said in a statement released Tuesday afternoon, referring to Vasquez and Chu doing the morning show rounds. What comes next? Is there a movie deal in the works as well as merchandising? On the show, Bredhoff remarked, "One of the first things said is, I am sorry to all those women out there. This is a setback for all women, both inside and outside the courtroom," she said. And Heard is aware of the weight of that. Vasquez stated on Today, on Wednesday, that she didn't think the case had any bigger implications for the #MeToo movement or anything else. "We've come to discuss the case we tried," she explained. "All victims are urged to come forward and have their day in court," said the group. The defense team for Heard has stated that they intend to appeal the decision. Meanwhile, Vasquez, 37, was elevated to partner at the Brown Rudnick law firm on Tuesday, citing the Depp case as the reason. She is based in the firm's Orange County office, while Chu is based in Washington, D.C. Traditionally, we've held off on making this news until the conclusion of our fiscal year. However, Camile's performance during the Johnny Depp trial demonstrated to the world that she was ready to take this next step now. Brown Rudnick chairman and CEO William Baldiga said in a statement, "We are extremely proud of her and excited to see what she can do as our newest partner." Did you find this video informative or helpful? Let us know in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos. Don't forget to like and share.